Imagine, you get a call that your dad has just had a stroke. But why, you ask? Because he seems so healthy. Well, he wasn't. Many of us don't even see it sneaking up on us if it's a stroke or a heart attack that is about to hit us. I got this call 4 years ago, and they told him he had too much salt in his diet and he needed to make some serious changes. The National Diet and Nutrition Survey reports that 73% of those interviewed add salt to their meals during cooking. The salt shaker is not the main issue, though. Almost 80% of salt is already in the food you buy, particularly in processed and restaurant foods. On average, 1.5 million Americans suffer from heart attacks and strokes each year. Many of these are caused by increased sodium intake. Hello, my name is Beth Aiken, and I'm going to refute the New York Times editorial, "The Debate on Salty Foods Continued," claiming that lowering sodium intake in the average person's diet can greatly harm them. Now, yes, I agree that dramatically lowering the salt intake can harm those, but just lowering it a little bit can be beneficial to many individuals, especially those at risk for health problems such as cardiovascular or hypertension disease. But according to the Scientific Committee for Food, or SCF, suggested that the lower amount of sodium intake should be at least 575 milligrams per day, and that the maximum amount of salt you should have is 3.5 grams per day for an average healthy adult. This is what the relative amount of sodium needs to be in this country. The lowest amount of sodium that the SCF has set is even safe for a person at risk or who's trying to lower their intake. Any lower than that, yes, can be very harmful. The editorial also states that there is scant evidence that links high blood pressure, heart disease, etc. to sodium. But in another article that was published by the New York Times called "Salt We Misjudged You," written by Gary Taubes, states that in a study done in 2001, the DASH sodium study showed that eating a significantly lower amount of salt would modestly lower blood pressure. This shows that yes, reducing the amount of sodium can directly affect your blood pressure, therefore helping prevent or manage many other diseases. Another point that the editorial made was that depending on where you are from and your average diet can vary your sodium intake. Although I agree with the fact that depending on where you are from depends on how much sodium your body is accustomed to. But I truly believe that if you want to change the amount of sodium that you take in, you can just progressively lower it. But don't do it all at once because yes, that will harm you. Your body will go into shock. But according to Food Politics, written by Marion Nestle, these provocative findings beg for randomized controlled outcome trial to compare reduced sodium intake with usual diet. In the absence of such a trial, the results argue against the reduction of dietary sodium as an isolated public health recommendation. This shows that unless these conditions are met, this information cannot be trusted. So in conclusion, there is much evidence against the consumption of salt, and I am not saying that they are wrong and that too little salt in one's diet can greatly harm you, but I am also saying that the average human, lowering the amount of salt can better benefit them instead of harm them. Thank you.